Mr. Speaker, there was an article, I guess it's on foxnews.com today, and it's called America's Third War, Texas Strikes Back. And the head of the Texas Department, or Captain Stacy Holland with the Texas Department of Public Safety said, quote, "I never thought that we'd be in this paramilitary type of engagement. It's a war on the border." It's a war on the border. That border's 1,980 miles long, and the president sent 1,200 National Guard people down there. Now, I don't know how many that is per mile, but it ain't much. And now I understand from information I got today that they're going to withdraw some of those because of the cost. Now, they sent 17,000 National Guard troops down when they had the oil spill in the Gulf. Granted, that was a real problem. But the border between us and Mexico is a war zone according to the Texas Department of Public Safety. I want to read to you, Mr. Speaker, some of the things he said. He said they, the terrorists, drug dealers, people who are kidnapping people, it says they cross the border with AK-47s on their backs, wearing military camouflage. They recruit in prisons and schools on the American side. Spotters, people from Mexico, spotters sit in duck lines along the Rio Grande and call out the positions of the U.S. Border Patrol, and they do that on the American side. To combat the cartels, the Texas Department of Public Safety is launching a counterinsurgency. Tactical strike teams send field intelligence. They gather to Austin to a Joint Operation Intelligence Center, or the GOIC in military terminology. It certainly is a war in a sense that we're doing what we can to protect Texans and the rest of the nation from clearly a threat that has emerged over the last several years, said former FBI prosecutor Steve McGaugh, who runs the undeclared war. And now that there is added pressure on the cartels, the drug runners are employing new techniques known as splashdown. When the heat's on, they attempt to return to Mexico with the drugs, oftentimes in broad daylight. And because the Texas Law Enforcement Authority ends at the border, in this case the river, they even have time to put on their life jackets. I mean, I don't understand why this White House doesn't understand that this is a war on our border, our front yard. And in Arizona, they have signs that says, 80 miles into the United States in Arizona, they say, don't go south of here because it's not safe in the United States. And the president sent 1,200 National Guard troops down there, and they're withdrawing some of them. I just don't understand this White House. I mean, I understand that we have to deal with Afghanistan and Iraq and other places around the world, but this is our front yard. And they're withdrawing. They sent 17,000 down to the Gulf oil spill, and they send 1,200 down there to the border, which is nothing. And now they're withdrawing some of them. The former FBI agent goes on to say, the cartels may be ruthless, they may be vicious, they may be cowardly, but they're not stupid. They'll adapt their tactics, and recently they've adapted their tactics to utilize smaller loads, crossed with rafts, stolen vehicles on our side. President Barack Obama and Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano have recently said the Mexican border is more secure now than it's been in 20 years. I want to tell you, that is such bull. That is just bull. I can't say that the President of the United States is misleading the people, but boy, that sure ain't the truth. And if you don't believe that, talk to Congressman Poe from Texas and some of the others from Arizona. Instead of doing what they can to protect American citizens and stop this flood of drugs coming in, as well as illegal aliens and others, they're suing Arizona because they say they're trampling on federal statutes. I'll tell you, I just can't understand this administration. We're talking about the safety of the United States, and in particular, all the people who live on the Texas border, the Arizona border, the New Mexico border. This is something that's unforgivable.